Yo, what is up? Welcome back to another episode of Cannabis Gazette. I am your host, Dewan Moore. As always, this is not intended or created for children. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. Today, we are going to be talking about Bernie's plan for legalizing marijuana. If y'all don't know, I lean hard to the left. Actually, I lean hard to the people who have the best ideas to help my fellow countrymen. That's who I lean to. So if I'm a Democrat or Republican, nah, I'm an independent. The Democrats and Republicans, as George Carlin said, is like a bowl of shit looking in the mirror. That's all you got when you got Democrats and Republicans. Them corporate D's anyways. A corporate D might as well be a fucking R. I'm just keeping it real. So all you turncoats that want to go vote for Mike Bloomberg, that dude literally was just a fucking Republican and now he's running as a Democrat, so he can go get fucked. But that's not why you're here. You're here to learn more about Bernie's plan on marijuana legalization. So let's go ahead and get into that. Let's get into that. The issues legalizing marijuana. We will legalize marijuana and vacate and expunge past marijuana convictions. Bernie. Here are the key points, y'all. Legalizing marijuana in the first 100 days with an executive action. Vacate and expunge all past marijuana-related convictions. Ensure that revenue from legal marijuana is reinvested in communities hit hardest by the war on drugs. Ensure legalizing marijuana does not turn into big tobacco. Details. When we talk about criminal justice reform and ending institutional racism in America, we are talking about ending the disastrous war on drugs, which has disproportionately targeted people of color and ruined their lives of millions of Americans. African Americans are nearly 4 times as likely to be arrested for marijuana possession than white Americans, even though people in this country use marijuana at roughly the same rate across all races. Why is it that in 2019 you can get arrested for smoking marijuana, but not one of the crooks on Wall Street went to jail for nearly destroying the economy 11 years ago? Why is it that millions of dollars are being made by mostly white, mostly male, and already rich cannabis? That's a new word, cannabis. Entrepreneurs in states where marijuana is legal, while the people and communities that were ravaged by the war on drugs have been shut out of the industry, denied credit, and many are still incarcerated. This is going to change when Bernie is president. Under this plan, not only will Bernie take executive action to legalize marijuana by removing it from the Controlled Substance Act, and that's the thing, y'all. That's the thing that should be highlighted if things were going to be highlighted in that paragraph. He will expunge past convictions of marijuana-related offenses and ensure the victims of the war on drugs are not passed over by the begungeoning marijuana industry. It's time to admit the criminalization of marijuana was a disaster, especially for communities of color, and allow the most impact to move forward with their lives. Our job now is to legalize marijuana and vacate and expunge past marijuana convictions, ensuring that revenue from legal marijuana is reinvested in the communities hit hardest by the war on drugs. 4 years ago, the establishment media and politicans told us legalizing marijuana was too radical. Today, 11 states have legalized recreational marijuana, and 33 states have legalized medical marijuana. Marijuana legalization is supported by the majority of American people. We've come to a long way in the last few years. Now we are going to complete what we started. We're going to legalize marijuana and invest in the communities hit hardest by the war on drugs. ending the war on marijuana and undoing its damage, as President Bernie will do. President-elect Bernie, sorry, he ain't there yet. We got to get him there. Legalizing marijuana in the first 100 days with executive action by nominating an attorney general, an HH secretary, and an administrator for the DEA who will all work to aggressively end the drug war and legalize marijuana. Immediately issuing an executive order that directs the attorney general to declassify marijuana as a controlled substance. While Congress must aggressively move to end the war on drugs and undo its damage, as president, Bernie will not wait for Congress to act. Declassifying marijuana will eliminate the current one-overs barriers to banking services for growers and dispensaries, allowing them to access the banking system like any other business. Passing legislation to ensure permanent legalization of marijuana. To vacate and expunge all past marijuana-related convictions. In the Sanders administration, we will review all marijuana convictions, both federal and state, for expungement and resentencing. All past convictions will be expunged. Based on the California model, we will direct federal and state authorities to review current and past marijuana-related convictions for eligibility. The reviews will include resentencing for all current incarcerated with marijuana convictions following determination or eligibility of the status. Prosecutors will have 1 year to appeal or object, after which authorities will automatically expunge and vacate past marijuana convictions for all of those eligible. Ooh. 2 seconds, lost my place. Here we are. Federal funding will be provided to the states and to the cities to partner with organizations that can help develop and operate the expungement. Determining processes, much like how California worked with Code for America. And there we are, Code America again. Those are some good people. That's the second time I've talked about that group in as many weeks. Allowing people with marijuana convictions to contact the state to ensure the list did not miss them, and we will grant people with marijuana-related convictions an administrative remedy if after 2 years the state has not taken action on their sentence and records. Revitalize the executive clemency process by creating an independent Revitalizing the executive clemency process by creating an independent clemency board removed from the Department of Justice and placed in the White House. Ensure a just reentry for people leaving incarceration as detailed in Bernie's Justice and Safety Plan for All. If you'd like to hear about Bernie's Justice and Safety Plan and all, let me know in the comments section and I'll get that up and posted and let you know what that's all about. Let's see. It goes on to say that ensuring that the revenue from legal marijuana is reinvested in communities hit hardest by the war on drugs, especially African American and other communities of color. With new tax resources from legal marijuana sales, we will create a $20 billion grant program with minority business development agencies to provide grants to entrepreneurs of color who continue to face discrimination to access to capital. With this revenue, we will also create a $10 billion grant program to focus on businesses that are at least 51% owned or controlled by those in the disproportionately impacted areas, or individuals have been arrested for or convicted of marijuana offenses. Provide formerly incarcerated individuals with training and resources needed to start their own businesses and worker-owned businesses, and guarantee jobs and free jobs training and trade schools and apprenticeship programs related to marijuana businesses. In states like Vermont, Pennsylvania, and Ohio, employee ownership centers promote worker ownership and provide valuable technical support for businesses and workers. We will expand on this success and create an employee ownership center across the country and expand existing organizations. These employee ownership centers will work in coordination with the minority businesses, development agencies, coordinated with the minority businesses, development agencies, programs to provide the training and technical support needed to formally incarcerated individuals and people in areas disproportionately impacted by the war on drugs to start worker-owned businesses and corporations. Good, googly, boogly. So many words, Bernie, but they're important. Use revenue from marijuana sales to establish a targeted $10 billion USDA grant program to help disproportionately impacted areas and individuals who have been arrested for or convicted of marijuana offenses. Start urban and rural farms and urban and rural marijuana grow operations to ensure people impacted by the war on drugs have access to the entire marijuana industry. These grants will be used for design, technical assistance, purchasing equipment, installing infrastructure, and more. We will help disproportionately impacted areas and individuals who have been arrested for or convicted of marijuana offenses get fair access to land and resources through disadvantage and beginning farm-state coordination programs. Allocating funds for bilingual and multiracial outreach to affected communities, including immigrant communities, to diversify economic development. We will ensure these marijuana farmers are paid a fair price for their product with tools like supply management and reverse and transition towards a partial system to guarantee marijuana farmers a living wage. And we will establish a national system to certify organic marijuana to give consumers the information they need to make an informed decision. Create a $10 billion targeted economic and community development fund to provide grants to communities hit hardest by the war on drugs. We will also ensure that every community in this country has the resources they need to address the opiate addiction crisis and prevent the abuse of other hard drugs. That's them the real drugs right there. That's just no bueno. If you've known or lost anyone to the opioid crisis and you want to shout them out or show them some love in the comment section, by all means, please do. And opioids ain't no joke, man. That should have turn your person into an opioid or zombie. Just they ain't the same, man. Oh sheesh. Good thing I wrote a long one here. Eliminating barriers to public benefits for people who have interacted with criminal justice system, including licenses and contracts based on prior records, and eliminating drug testing requirements for future benefits, and ensuring people cannot be removed from the public housing for marijuana use. We will also direct agencies to remove all references to marijuana that limits people's ability to access government services, and we will eliminate the consequences of marijuana records related to immigration. And last but not least, ensuring legalized marijuana does not turn into big tobacco, y'all. Big Tobacco is already targeting the marijuana industry for its profits. As president, Bernie will not allow marijuana to turn into big tobacco. He will incentivize marijuana businesses to be structured like nonprofits. We will provide resources for people to start cooperatives and collective nonprofits as marijuana businesses that will create jobs and economic growth in local communities. Prohibit product and labels that target young people. Ban companies that have created cancer-causing products or guilty of deceptive marketing. Ban tobacco cigarette corporations from participating in marijuana industry. I don't know about that one. That doesn't sound like free America, but I don't know. Institute market shares and financial caps to prevent consolidation and profiteering. Regulate the safety of marijuana products by granting the federal government regulatory authority. Partner with the USDA to establish safety inspections and quality control processes for growing and producing. Now, we have come to the end, and at the end of this, it says you can go to this. You can Google Bernie Sanders cannabis, and this is one of the first things that pops up, so you should be able to find it. It's legalizing marijuana, berniesanders.com. I will not be lazy on this one. I'll put this stuff in the description and leave links, and I'll be good about this video. Are you one of the 420 brothers or sisters out there? If you are, make sure you smash that like button. Smash the like button if you made it all the way to the end of this video. Man, this was a long video, but this was real stuff that we had to get through, y'all, and I'm proud of you. So if you made it through to the end of the video, make sure you smash the like. Make sure you blaze one. Make sure that you're conscious about what's going on with Bernie Sanders. If you don't know, he's won the first 3 states, and no president-elect has ever done that, because the demographic of the first 3 states is so different. So keep that in mind. Pay attention, y'all, because this is the one. This is the now or never. This is where we divulge on a path of 2 choices, and one leads to Pleasantville, and the other one not so much. This is a really long video, so I'm gonna take a puff, tell you guys peace. I'll see you next time. Thank you for joining me at Cannabis Gazette. 420 y'all blaze. Stay, every day. Peace.